Hey guys, it's MugenLord here, and so apparently there's a developer that's out there who's not really for the censorship when it comes to developing their games, because there's a remake that's coming of a popular title, or I guess you would say a cult classic title, that's pretty much making a resurgence, and the developers want to ensure the fans that, hey, nothing's going to be touched, there's nothing going to be censored, and we're going to give you everything that you want and love about this title. So before we go into deep dive or talk about what this title is, make sure you hit that subscribe button, that notification bell for more gaming content here on this channel. So I just want to let you guys know that I haven't really played any of the games from these developers, but I know of the franchises that they had made a long time ago in the past. Well, it apparently that there's a title that's being remade that may have fans pretty happy, but it had also made fans pretty, I guess you say, reluctant of how they will approach it because of the fan service that's in the game. So what game am I referring to? Well, you guessed it, Lollipop Chainsaw is getting a remake. It's experiencing a remake, and pretty much the producer, the developers behind this are ensuring fans that, hey, there will be no censorship in this game. We're going to give the fans what they want. All the fan service is going to be there, but with current gen technology. So that's good to hear. I want to see more developers really push the issue on this to pretty much create the game that they want to create without worrying about censorship and pissing off the mob that we always talk about here on this channel. So we're going to go over to this article because it's from Bounty into Comics. They pretty much did a good job covering this. And it says that Lollipop Chainsaw Repop producer confirms upcoming remake will leave Juliet's appearance uncensored. So, like I said before, as they mentioned in here, is that right now with Western entertainment, and we talked about in a ton of different videos of how censorship is really big here, and we have a lot of tourists who are easily triggered and don't like the depiction of how women are depicted in video games. So it becomes a real big issue, and developers pretty much buckle under pressure, and they go in and take a favorite game, take a classic franchise that's known for its fan service, that's known for its freedom of expression, and then now they have to tone it back so they don't have to suffer the wrath of these tourists and these journalists that's pretty much would never support the game. So it's good to see that these guys, especially from the producer Yoshimi Yasuda, he's confirmed that, yo, this is not happening. We're definitely going to keep the risque appearance of Juliet, because everybody have loved this character, a lovable character in Lollipop Chainsaw. And I remember when this game came out back on the Xbox 360 and the PS3, everybody talked about this game, and it was a lot of fan service. They put a lot of advertisement and backing behind this game. And even though I haven't bought the game, because like I said, these developers, they make weird games. They're very niche, and those type of games never really appeal to me, but I see the appeal to them. So I see why people love this character, and Juliet has become very iconic. You see a lot of fan art, and especially a lot of not safe for work 3D hentai videos of her as well, and you can search it up yourself, but I digress. So now, as we can see here, they pretty much said that that a lot of fans was talking on Twitter, and they mentioned on Twitter that, hey, let's, please, like, what's going to happen? So, and right here in this particular article, or this particular part of the article, it says, it seems that at least to some extent, fans can put their particular fear to rest, as the aforementioned Yasuda has ostensibly announced that the remake will leave Juliet's appearance, at least in some capacity, unaltered. Taking to Twitter on September 28th, the Repop producer shared a picture of Juliet in her most covered up outfit, the bunny mascot suit, and informed the public in both Japanese and English that I quote, "We will also make uncensored Juliet costumes to meet your expectations." And he has an explanation point. So Yasuda is pretty much saying that, yo, we going all in with Juliet. This is our baby right here. So it says, thanks to the discrepancy caused innocently by the fact is that English is the producer's second language. It is unknown exactly whether Juliet's various outfits will be uncensored by default or if special alternates will be provided. Thankfully, with his latest tweet, Yasuda appears genuinely committed to his previously announced plans to have the remake preserve the game's original identity, rather than modify it in accordance with modern social discourses. And that's all gamers want. If all developers stick to this and say, hey, like, you guys, the reason why this game is popular, the reason why everybody loves this character, love this franchise, is because we gave y'all guys what you wanted. We gave y'all the games, we gave y'all the fan service, we gave y'all enjoyable characters, story, gameplay, and we're going to continue to keep that. We're going to hold that legacy. We're going to keep this intact, keep this series integrity intact. And I love what Yasuda is doing here. And this seemed like something Yasuda would do anyway, because the kind of game that he creates, the style of games is very weird, it's very quirky, and I can see him sticking to his guns because of the type of producer that he is. So, I quote, "We do not intend to change the aesthetics of the game," the producer clarified in July 2022, shortly after Repop was announced. The mention of how the game will have a more realistic look in previous announcements was meant to refer to how we will make use of the advanced rendering technology available in current game consoles. Now, what is this quote pretty much saying? Now, we already hear the buzzwords. We already know what the buzzwords are. Anytime a developer says a more realistic approach, it normally means that we're going to wokeify it. We're going to tone things down. We're going to censor it. We're going to make it more diverse, or we're going to make it more appealing to a broader audience. But what he's saying right here is that, no, we're not talking about that. We're talking about more realistic in terms of the visuals and the technology that current gen consoles can offer and provide. So that's pretty awesome. And I can imagine if this is coming to PC, I can imagine how crazy the mods are going to be as well for Lollipop Chainsaw. So it says, many fans have asked questions about Lollipop Chainsaw Remake, so I will answer them. So he pretty much answered the questions that people asked, and he says, I quote, "We do not wish to change Juliet's design, and the assumption that we want is baseless," he continued. "We were the ones who created Juliet's model data after great trial and error 10 years ago, and feel attached to her more than anyone else." See, as developers, whatever you create, even when it comes down to your characters, the world that you build, these projects becomes your baby, you know? And when you have so much passion, so much love for that, you want to protect it and keep everything intact as much as possible, and don't want anything to pretty much interrupt or change it and corrupt it. So I quote, "To this end," and as he further explained, "we learned after the announcement of Lollipop Chainsaw Remake that many fans are worried about censorship in the game. We have not yet discussed the issues with the platform holders yet, and thus cannot say anything about the topic. But we can say is that we intend to negotiate with the platform holders to make it so that the game can be as close to the original as possible." And that's good to hear. And the fact is that you have to go to these companies, and I can only imagine with the PlayStation what they're going to have to go through, fight them tooth and nail to even make this possible, because Sony is just censorship like happy. They just gunslinging censorship all around when it comes to these games, especially when it comes to how women are depicted and the fan service in these games. So we will have to wait and see how that would go. But they're saying that no, we're going to negotiate with this. We're going to talk to these to these big companies and say, hey, I don't think it's going to be an issue with Nintendo. Nintendo's just been happy with just letting developers be able to just reign free of how they want to express their artistic integrity and everything. So as of the writing, the only known difference between Lollipop Chainsaw and Repop is that, due to license right, the latter soundtrack would not feature 16 of the original game's 17 licensed songs. These delisted tracks include works from such popular artists as Dragon Force, Children of Bottom, and Skrillex. So that's interesting. So I wonder what new soundtrack they're going to add. So that's a licensing thing. There's a whole hurdle when it comes to that. So I know probably fans would probably be upset with that. But the fact is that if they're able to just keep Juliet and keep all the fan service and all the other things intact, I think people would suffice with whatever new music they will bring into the fold for Lollipop Chainsaw. But it's good to see that developers are sticking to their guns. They're holding to their guns and staying firm and said, no, this is the game that we want to create. This is the game that we want to bring back because of the fans. And this remake is essentially important to them, because when they do remake this, and if it gets if it becomes highly praised and the fans love what they have done with the game, I can definitely see a new game along the lines, or they can just revive this franchise, and who knows, Juliet may become the face of, you know, of gaming again, within one of these pop culture icons once again. But we just have to wait and see. So I definitely want to hear your thoughts in the comment sections below. What do you think about Lollipop Chainsaw? And the fact is that the developers, Yasuda, he's saying that, hey, we want to keep everything intact, keep the integrity and respect the IP, because we worked so hard on it and fans love Juliet just as much as we do. So I definitely want to hear your thoughts. Have you ever played Lollipop Chainsaw? What are your thoughts on it? Do you love Juliet as a character? What do you think about this whole thing with developers, you know, pretty much standing firm on their ground? Do you think more developers should follow suit as what Yasuda has done with this remake? So definitely want to hear your thoughts. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe button for more gaming content here on this channel. This is MugenLord, sign off. I'll see you game fiends later. Peace out.
YouTube.com/MugenLord. Subscribe to the channel for gaming news, updates, discussion, and live streams. Signing off.